My name's Sean Guthrie. I'm the tour manager here for the band Daughtry. I also do a lot of work with other artists, Santana, Metallica, Bruno Mars, Matchbox 20. We stay on the road year-round, basically, just touring around, doing shows, man. It's what we do.
With time to kill and an empty tomb, I always find a way to pass the time with you.
Originally, I worked for the NFL in the States, and you know, I ran arenas and stadiums, much like this one here, for sporting teams. And then it was just a natural progression into this line of work. I realized a long time ago, every sports star privately wants to be a rock and roll musician. Every rock and roll guy wants to be a sports star. It's kind of, they both emulate each other. So I found that little crossover a long time ago, and it's worked brilliant.
I've been following my dreams, trying to find the scene where you be.
Well, it starts pretty early. You know, you basically got to stay ahead of the game in all facets. As far as soon as you wake up, making sure the bus call, what time the crew's going to be down, the band's going to be down for the bus calls. You got to basically make sure the stadium or the arena, wherever you're playing, load-in times from equipment runs to, you know, just making sure everything logistically goes on for the show, making sure all your set times are right, everything's in place from A to Z for our transportation to the next city, our bus call that night. You know, you name it, man. You got to have it all covered out here beyond the Barricade, for sure.
Waiting for me to take it on back down the other road, baby.
Probably, you know, what actually goes on behind the scenes. And I got to be honest with you, you know, depending on the band, these days, it's pretty quiet behind the scenes, not like what most people probably perceive it being. But we have a lot of fun, you know. We got to keep it interesting, to say the least. And, you know, we're all a family out here. We live together. And that's something, you know, just you're with your family every day and trying to keep it interesting and fun, you know, try to keep these guys motivated. That's my job. I never have a bad day. I always bring in a positive vibe and keeping these guys going, motivated, and keeping their eye on the ball because, you know, in the end, that's why we're out here for these fans. That's what you can't forget. Without the fans, we don't have jobs. And to me, the fan is everything, definitely.
It always seemed that I was sorry for the things that I did, but never did a thing about it till I let you.
With Metallica over in Bogota, Colombia, probably we had to bring in water cannons, military. You know, they came at the gates at us and just bum rushed the gates. It was a sold-out show in a soccer stadium. So a lot of time the logistics when you're playing overseas aren't a natural setup like a lot of arenas and stadiums here. You know, soccer stadiums is kind of it just makes it into like a concert venue. So there's a lot of holes, a lot of places you really have to pay attention to. And you always have to remember in this business, you know, the crowd's always in control. So that's the number one thing, trying to keep the crowd at bay, have a good time, but yet at the same time keep them under control. So we got a little out of hand there, and we corrected the situation. Got a little hairy, but in the end all the fans got in and it was a great show. And nobody got hurt, which is the main thing these days, the liability and things like that. You want to make sure these fans enjoy the show because, you know, they spend a lot of money coming out to these shows. By the time you pay for parking, the ticket, the food, you know, they're spending really a lot of money. You want to make sure that their experience, you know, is one that they want to come back again and again. Probably when the band goes on and it's business as usual, the crowd's going crazy, the lights go up, such an adrenaline rush because you know your whole day's work has came to basically that moment for the show beginning and the kids having fun, the band having fun, and you know, that's what it's all about, the vibe out here. It's about having a good show, man, rock and roll. That's in the end, that's why we're here, you know. Well, some people are better at it than others. I personally haven't been home since November, even one day in my own bed. You know, to be the best sometimes on the road, it takes dedication. And a lot of these artists, they take time, you know, time off. Well, not out here doing what we do. The crew, we just go from tour to tour. Some guys choose to take a little more time off, but I'm very blessed in the fact I have a lot of work and just basically go from one, fly right to the other guy, right to the other tour when that one ends, and just keep going, man, because that's, you know, that's what we do out here, just work, work, work. there's always a show somewhere. So you know, where the artists take off, the crew doesn't. You know, so we got to keep pushing. But I try to balance it out as much as possible, and learning to do a better job as time goes on. Definitely with that, it's a balance. We all kind of, you know, we all try to figure that balance out, you know, some way, some form, whether you're the artist or, you know, whether you're a crew guy, a tour manager, bodyguard, no matter what your role is out here, it's all about trying to find that balance with the family. That's the biggest challenge there is out here. You know, to be honest with you, I've been to every place in the world, every country, you know, traveling with different artists, and I always thought it was the places that I would see, when in actuality it's the cultures and the people. It's the most humbling experience, traveling the world. You know, you realize it's a big world out there, but yet at the same time we're all connected. So, you know, it's a responsibility we have to other cultures and things, definitely to represent your client in the best light. So I take that very serious, you know, big time. That's really serious to me, using my platform to do what I can for people in general.
A single lifetime lays behind her.
My biggest project is something I've been working on since the Matchbox 20 days, like 9 years ago. It's a TV show called Beyond the Barricade. You know, we just signed a deal in the U.S., and it's a world show where it's going to show behind the scenes not only the artist, what goes on beyond the barricade, but it's also going to show, you know, the last one standing with these all-access passes gets the dream job of being the bodyguard. You know, that's one thing everybody has to wear on tour, and basically your access gets denied, you get walked off from backstage, the last one standing with this pass gets the contract and the dream job. And it's a show that we're going to do worldwide. We've got a lot of good people involved, Richard Branson, some different people. We're going to do a Beyond the Barricade UK, take the winner off that each season, use a different artist. So it's going to be a world show. It's kind of like Survivor meets The Apprentice. So it's definitely my lifelong work to kind of show, you know, what does go on beyond the barricade. You know, as bodyguards, it's not just somewhere where we just push people out of the way like the misconception. You know, there's a lot of thought goes into it, a lot of advancing. It's all about the advance. So it's going to show how to motivate people backstage, you know, and how to get the job done at the end of the day by, you know, being a nice guy. So that's one thing that is definitely my passion, and in the end is something that's going to come to pass for me, definitely.
Can you hear the sound of the turning wheels, holding the road like it's never been done?
Whoa, 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 you got a pass? No? Sorry, your access here has been denied.